Good morning, class 7. Today we will start with second chapter of your history book, New Kings and Kingdoms. Many new dynasties emerged after the 7th century. Map 1 shows the major ruling dynasties in different parts of the subcontinents between the 7th and 12th centuries. There are few places which I am going to tell you, which you are going to mark in the map of India and paste it in your history notebooks. First one is Cholas, Shahmanas, Gurjar Pratiharas, Rashtrakutas, Palas, Cheras, and Pandyas. So, in all, there are 7 states which you will be marking on the map of India. The emergence of new dynasties. By the 7th century, there were big landlords or warrior chiefs in different regions of the subcontinent. Existing kings often acknowledged them as their subordinates or samantas. So, in the 7th century, there were many big landlords or the warrior chiefs in different regions of the subcontinent. They are talking about our country, India. So, existing kings often acknowledged them as their, and the kings who were ruling, they acknowledged these landlords as their samantas. That means they accepted them as samantas and they regarded them as their subordinates, as their juniors. So they were expected to bring, obviously, so these things were expected from them that they should bring gifts for their kings or overlords, be present at the court and provide them with military support. So they were expected to bring gifts, that is the first thing. Then they were expected to be present in the court, and thirdly, to provide the military support whenever the king needed. As Samantas gained power and wealth, they declared themselves to be Mahasamanta. So gradually what happened when they gained power and wealth, so they declared themselves as Mahasamanta or Mahamandaleshwar, that is the great lord of a circle or region. So where they were ruling as the overlord, they declared themselves as to be the Mahasamanta, that is that a region belongs to them. Sometimes they asserted their independence from their overlords. Sometimes what happened that they declared themselves independent from the kings. One such instance was that of Rashtrakutas in the Deccan. Initially, they were subordinate to the Chalukyas of Karnataka. So, one example you have is from Rashtrakutas in Deccan. In the beginning, they were the subordinates or they were as the landlords under the reign of Chalukyas of Karnataka. In the mid 8th century, Danti Durga, a Rashtrakuta chief, so he was very famous because he was a Rashtrakuta chief who overthrew his Chalukya overlord and performed a ritual called Hiranya Garbha. So Danti Durga, he was a chief of Rashtrakuta, and since he defeated his overlord, that is the Chalukya ruler, and so to declare himself the ruler, what he did was he performed a ritual which was called as Hiranya Garbha, literally the golden womb. When this ritual was performed with the help of Brahmanas, it was thought to lead to the rebirth of the sacrificer as a Kshatriya, even if he was not one by birth. So, you must be familiar that in the Varna system which was there in our country initially, it was believed that the Kshatriya clan or were supposed to rule, were the ones who became the rulers. So since this ritual was performed with the help of the Brahmanas, and it was believed that it is going to give rebirth to the sacrificer, even if he is not a Kshatriya, he can by birth. So obviously these Rashtrakuta were not Kshatriya by birth, so that's why he performed this ritual, so that he was accepted by the people, and this ritual was done with the help of the Brahmins. It was known as Hiranya Garbha, that is the golden womb. In other cases, men from enterprising families used their military skills to carve out kingdoms. For instance, the Kadamba Mayur Sharman, and the Gurjar Pratihara Harichandra were Brahmins who gave up their traditional professions and took to arms, successfully establishing kingdoms in Karnataka and Rajasthan, respectively. So, we have one example of Dante Durga. There are other examples where the men from the enterprising families they used their military skills to defeat the rulers and made their own, established their own rule. So, like for example, you can take the name of Kadamba Mayur Sharman and the Gurjar Pratihara Harichandra. So, they were Brahmins, and you must be aware that Brahmins were not supposed to rule. So, therefore, they had to perform this traditional, to give up their job of performing the rituals and the yajnas and all. They gave up that work, and instead what they did was they took up arms and they established their kingdoms in Karnataka and Rajasthan. Administration in the kingdoms. Many of these new kings adopted high sounding titles such as Maharaja Dhiraj, Great King, Overlord of Kings. So when they established their kingdom, what they did was they adopted these titles like Maharaja Dhiraj, which means the Great King or the Overlord of that is King of the King. Then Tribhuvan Chakravartin, that is Lord of Three Worlds. Tribhuvan, that is three worlds. So one who is the Lord of the three worlds, he was known as Tribhuvan Chakravartin. However, in spite of such claims, they often shared power with their Samantas as well as with associations of peasants, traders, and Brahmins. So it was not feasible for one person to rule. So they needed help from their Samantas, peasants, traders, and Brahmanas. In each of these estates, resources were obtained from the producers, that is, peasants, the cattle keepers, artisans, who were often persuaded or compelled to surrender part of what they produced. So, in each state, the resources were obtained from the producer, one who was producing. So, the peasants were producing, the cattle keepers, the artisans, and what they were forced to surrender a part of the produce. Like in a way, you can say it was like a tax from whatever they earned, whatever they produced, they had to give a part of it. Sometimes these were claimed as rent due to a lord who asserted that he owned the land. So the reason was that the land where they were doing they were practicing these work was like of that king. So they were supposed to pay the rent because they were working in the land of the king. So asserted that he owned the land. Revenue was also collected from traders. The traders who they what they did was they had to pay the revenue of trading. 400 taxes. The inscriptions of the Cholas who ruled in Tamil Nadu refer to more than 400 terms for different kinds of taxes. The most frequently mentioned tax is Veti, taken not in cash but in form of forced labor, and Kadamai or land revenue. So there were different types of taxes, but the most common was which was not taken in cash, but then it was the forced labor, and then there was Kadamai, which was a land revenue. There were also taxes on thatching the houses, the use of a ladder to climb palm trees, assess on succession to family property, etc. So you can see that there are taxes. Like you also have taxes. You can ask from your parents. They will be telling you that there are different types of taxes which we pay to the government. These resources were used to finance the king's establishment as well as for the construction of temples and forts. They were also used to fight wars, which were in turn expected to lead to the acquisition of wealth in the form of plunder and access to land as well as trade routes. So the resources which was collected, it was used by the king for the construction of temples and forts. It was also used in the fights and the wars which were taking place, and it was expected to lead to the acquisition of wealth. And then, like, if they defeated some ruler, they had access of that of the trade routes there. They plundered that place. So all this was done. Prashastis and land grants. Prashastis contain details that may not be literally true, but they tell us how rulers wanted to depict themselves as valiant, victorious warriors, for example. So, Prashasti, which was details of the king, but then sometimes it was written in the influence of the king, so we cannot rely on them completely because the kings wanted them to be presented as warriors, as victorious. So these were composed by learned Brahmins who occasionally helped in administration. Achievement of Nagabhatta. Many rulers described their achievements in Prashasti. You read about Prashasti of Gupta ruler Samudragupta last year. One Prashasti written in Sanskrit and found in Gwalior, Madhya Pradesh, describes the exploit of Nagabhatta, a Pratihara king, as follows. The king of Andhra, Sandhavi, that is Sindh, Vidarbha, part of Maharashtra, and Kalinga, that is part of Orissa, fell before him even as he was prince. He won a victory over Chakrayodh, the ruler of Kannauj. He defeated the king of Vanga, that is part of Bengal, Anartha, part of Gujarat, Malava, that is part of Andhra Pradesh, Kirata, forest people, then Turusukha, that is Turks, Vatsa, Mats, both kingdoms in North India. The king often rewarded Brahmins by grants of land. Those were recorded on copper plates which were given to those who received the lands. So this was sort of, you can say, the documentation that the land was given to these Brahmin by the king. So it was a proof. So you can see that sometimes the Brahmins wrote certain prashastis on their own, and sometimes they had to write what the king wanted. So this is a set of copper plates recording a grant of land made by a ruler in the 9th century, written partly in Sanskrit and partly in Tamil. The ring holding the plates together is secured with a royal seal to indicate that this is an authentic documentation. So obviously you can see that the ring holding the plates is secured with the royal seal. There was a royal seal now which proves that it is an authentic one. It's not fake. So with this we stop here, class. We will be continuing in the next class. Please read the chapter, underline the important things so that during the exams you do not find any problem and you do not have to read the chapter over and again, all together again, because there will be certain questions which will be in form of MCQs or true and false. So that will be helping you if you have done the reading part beforehand. Thank you, class. Take care of yourselves. Be safe at home.